Hello everyone, welcome back to my freelance series. This is episode 2. If you have not seen episode 1, go watch it now and then go watch this one. Actually, they're not like a continuation, but we're covering lots of different topics in this series, and I am very excited to be sharing the next part, which is my freelance experience. So I want to talk a little bit about how I got started, how I'm even qualified to be talking about this in any capacity, and just some stories on my journey through freelance and how it's been so far. Because I'm not a very, very seasoned freelancer. I'm sort of new to all of this, and I know that you guys are too, or you haven't even started yet, and obviously that's why you're watching this series. So let's talk about my experience, and let me share some interesting stories. So let's start off with why I'm even doing this, why I'm even here, where I got started, I guess, in graphic design. I know that there's a lot of new subscribers because my channel has been growing a lot in recent months, so very excited about that. But yeah, I've probably mentioned it throughout my channel throughout the years of like what I've studied, whatever. Here it is. Here's how I'm qualified as a graphic designer. So I studied graphic design. I actually have a Bachelor of Fine Arts from a 4-year liberal arts university. I did not go to a specialized art school. And I studied fine art with a concentration in graphic design, and then my minor is in art history. So I have a bachelor's degree. I'm out of school. I know I look young, but I've been out of school for a little while now. I'm 23 years old. I'm working on my own as a freelancer now. And I've never really had a full-time corporate, any sort of job like that. I've done smaller design jobs and retail sort of jobs and studio sort of jobs where I got to work with design in a way, but I've never been a graphic designer at a company or even had a full-time job overall. So I graduated college in 2018, and then I basically decided that I didn't want to get a full-time job because I was not really happy where I was living. It's where I grew up. I'm from Michigan, if you don't know, and it's just like not a place that I wanted to stay long term. I grew up there, but after college I knew I wanted to go somewhere else, specifically New York. It was always in the back of my mind, even when I was like, I can go anywhere, I don't care. And so 2018, I really started thinking like, oh, I need to get my life together a little bit because I had just graduated and I kind of spent a few months doing nothing and really wasting time. And I was doing videos and stuff, but like I wasn't really motivated to get any sort of career going. I had a little bit of freelance stuff just kind of coming to me from like with my mom and her stuff, and then she had like a friend that was like, oh, I need a design done. I was like, oh yeah, I can do it, whatever. So I was doing very like easy little projects, and I didn't know where I really wanted to go. I didn't really have a clear direction. So when 2019 rolled around, I realized I really needed to get my life together, and I decided to put a plan into action to move. And when I looked into how I was going to be able to do that realistically, I thought, okay, let's freelance full time. Because I was going to move to New York without a job. I was applying to jobs, but I didn't really see anything working out for me. Nothing was panning out. And honestly, just something was sitting within me that was like, this isn't right. Like, this isn't right now. You just don't need to be getting a full-time job. It's just not the right position for you. So I really sat back and thought, okay, freelance is gonna happen. And at this time, like my channel was growing a lot, like all through 2019, and I just realized like, oh, I can really do this. Like I'm going to throw all of my energy into the things I actually want to do, which is YouTube and freelance. And freelance, I wasn't like, oh, I'm so excited to be doing it, it's the exact job I want. It was just something that was going to be helping me to get where I wanted to go. So I started freelancing, and how I started was basically like putting it out there, because beforehand I was like, yeah, I can be a freelance designer, whatever, and like I didn't think that I was really gonna get any clients. But as soon as I put it out there, which is like, I literally put out a Facebook post to my Facebook friends that I like never post on, and I'm like, hey, just to let you know, like I'm doing freelance now, like here's some of my work examples, like if you need anything, a logo, a business card, or whatever, like anything. And I just put it out there, and I actually got work from that. And that was like shocking because I didn't realize that once I put it out there, something would happen. And listen, this is not me telling you that's the only way to get clients. We're going to have that in the next episode, finding and working with clients. It's going to be very helpful, so stay tuned for that for sure. But basically, in starting all of that, I realized that it was something I could realistically do, and freelance seemed a little daunting, but I was excited to get started in it because I was really in charge of myself and my own work. So then I actually started finding some clients from YouTube as well, where they would come to me or they would reach out. And yeah, that was a little bit of a unique situation. I know that doesn't happen for everyone. Not everyone has a YouTube channel that's about graphic design. So I was happy that that was happening, and it just made me feel like this is even more like the best place for me to be in. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I've been doing freelance for basically a year now. That is like really a year full time. At first, when I moved here, I thought, wow, I really need to get a job. Like, you need to make money, you need to be doing this. And somehow I've just made it work. Like, I've found clients, I pay my bills, I have no money in my bank account, and then all of a sudden I get 2 clients who email me and like, they're like, hey, I need work done. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is perfect. Like, things have just been working out in a good way. And yeah, I've just felt really positive about what I'm doing in freelance, and the fact that I've been doing it for a year. It's a good time. So let's talk about the bad. The first thing I would say that has been a struggle is the inconsistency of the work. So I have not really worked with any brands yet or any companies as their freelance designer, which is a goal of mine that I want to start doing. I've mostly worked with individuals, people who are starting their own business, someone who needs a brand logo done, someone who is just an independent entrepreneur who needs work done. So there's all these different people that I work with, but I have not worked with a company and like had a little bit more consistency in pay and, you know, promise of there's going to be work to be done. So that is a hard thing to deal with, because especially over the holidays, that work dips down, and I was worried. And let me share with you my biggest struggle, the clients that I have worked with. And I will go into this in the next video with finding and working with clients, dealing with clients. But I have had some issues. I've had clients cancel on me, which always sucks, even if it's not like a really negative experience. It just sucks when you don't get to do the work that you were already started working on. So that was just like, you know, stuff like that throws you off when you have a promise of a job and then it falls through. And then there have been clients that I have had to cancel on because of just really bad miscommunication. And I try so hard to be open with my clients and for us to have an open dialogue and be really open with each other and just positive. And sometimes the client is just really negative, or I have to deal with just like the craziest stuff where people tell me that I'm like wrong about everything, and just One time I had a client circle my work and send it back like they were grading a paper, and they were like, this is wrong, this is a mistake, it's blurry. And I was like, it's a screenshot, it's blurry. When you zoom in, it's gonna be blurry. But yes, I've had a lot of very interesting experiences with clients, and for a while there, especially toward the beginning of last year, I thought, you know what, freelancing might not be for me. And it really scared me at first, because I was thinking like, oh, this is my plan. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm not enjoying this. And that freaked me out. So things really progressed as I got better at it, and as I got better at dealing with clients and better at handling criticism and just better at communication in general. I think my confidence built a lot, and that just took time. So like, don't be scared, especially if you have like a bad first experience with a client or bad experience freelancing just because you feel like you don't know what you're doing or whatever. That just all comes with time and experience. And yeah, I feel like I've learned so much in the last year, and things are different now. Like, I feel so much better. I'm at a much better place in freelance, and I'm really enjoying where I am in my life and my work. And there's still so much struggle that goes into it because of all the factors of your life and how you handle things. But it's so rewarding when it's really something you want to do. And I feel like lucky every day that I can have this kind of career, especially at this time in my life. It just feels perfect. And yeah, it just makes me happy. I think it's important to remind you, and I think I reminded you in the first episode of this, but freelancing is not for everyone. And like, if you really want to do it, you have to sit down with yourself and think, is this something I can realistically do? And you know, that freelancing looks different for everyone. You can have a job and freelance. You can freelance and start your own business. You can just freelance. Like, I do freelance and YouTube, and I think of those two things as connected. And yeah, it's just all about what works for you. And yeah, don't let it intimidate you. The inconsistency, the clients, like the things that could go wrong, don't let that intimidate you, because it all happens the way it needs to happen, and it helps you learn lessons. And I definitely have in the last year. And you know, I've been trained as a graphic designer, and yet it's still hard to like face these challenges every day, because it's just new and different, and every day is different as a freelancer. So yeah, hopefully that's not like scary. Hopefully it sounds exciting to you, but I thought I would share my experience a little bit, because I've been through it. I mean, I've been through the lows and I've been through the highs, and thinking that I wanted to quit, and now I'm at such a better place in my life and my work. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I feel like I needed to share what I actually do and a little bit more of my background before we get more into the advice part of the series, and like actual like work ideas and things that you need. Like, I don't know, I didn't want to just share with you what you should be doing without you knowing like who I am and where I'm coming from. So hopefully you liked this. If you did, please give it a like. Also, comment down below what you're looking forward to most in the series and what you feel like you need the most in the series. And that will be very helpful for me to kind of create it in the best way possible. And also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and also ring the bell so you get a notification when I upload. And follow me on Instagram at Paula Casa, link in the description. I will see you in my next video. Bye. Sometimes talking about clients actually triggers me. Like,